Sunday show presented to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. Pelicans fall to the Blazers 125-103. Make sure you smash that like button. Yeah, let's just get into it.
First took away. That's the best. Get your money's worth now.
Brought to you by Scott Vicknair Injury Law Firm. Have you been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, hurt offshore? Scott Vicknair handles it all. Give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. Yes, a free consultation. They always fight for the win. And powered by 4D Energy.
Yeah. Pow!
Another pow.
Pow!
Also went to Theo. Shout out 5 for winning the week. 5 went perfect.
Yeah.
So then he got to pick the pizza of the week, which was ironically a Hawaii 5-0 pizza. Do you see what I did there? 5 and 5. Pretty good, huh?
I did.
Delicious.
Yeah, pretty good piece of pizza there.
It was.
Make sure you scan that. If it's not too late to order right now, you can scan that barcode, get your order in right now. 5 different locations. Shout out to Theo's. We got Chaz. We got Ross. We got Lito.
Yeah.
Also, before we get the show, happy birthday actually to Ross tomorrow. It is your birthday,
Ross.
so cheers to you, Ross.
Mama made it.
Cheers to you, brother.
Shout out to
cheers to
504.
everybody.
Appreciate you, brother.
I didn't say appreciate all the comments, guys. Thanks for waiting for us. Kind of a weird time lapse there. We had like an hour in between the game, so appreciate you on the chat. Make sure you smash that like button.
What up, Chance? Welcome to the show.
Chance, what's up, man? Appreciate you guys. Yeah.
One shout out to everybody, man. Reed, my dog in here, Corey. Shout out to everybody for joining us, man. Appreciate y'all.
Who got the BBW talk early? We seen
So
the comments, Cole.
Yeah.
We seen.
It's kind of crazy. All right, so Pelicans fall 125-103, go 2-1 over the week. I'm gonna start with Zion Williamson. Lito,
Yes, sir.
looked at the box score.
Talk to me.
Pelicans gave up 22 offensive rebounds tonight.
Christ.
Have given up 39 offensive rebounds the last 3 games. Actually, the first 2 games were pretty good, 9 and 7.
Yeah.
9 against Chicago, 7 against Portland. Gave up a whopping 22 tonight.
Real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson,
How many rebounds he had?
the number 1 overall pick, the face of the franchise max guy, had 3 rebounds tonight.
How many?
3.
Wow. A toddler.
Yeah, Jordan Hawkins, who everyone bitches and complains about his defense, who's looked absolutely incredible over these last 3 games, had 7. Jordan Hawkins had 7 rebounds to Zion Williamson's 3 rebounds. And I know a lot of people are going to be watching the show and, well, he's sick and blah, 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 and you have to give him time. I don't. It's year 6. There's no more breaks. As Chaz said, there's no more breaks. You want to be a superstar? You want to get superstar money? You got to show up every single night. I'm sick and tired of these performances, and especially this team wants to be slow. They're going to be small, and they're going to want to play small. You're going to have to rebound every single night. Not some nights, not every other night. Every single night, if you want this team to be successful and you want them to win, and you're going to be the guy. Like 1 in 14 are the guys. Okay,
Yeah.
Like, we win or lose because of them. If number 1's not going to show up, and we're going to talk about his efficiency and how sloppy he's looked. He can't dribble. He's falling all over the place, not rebounding. He's bitching, complaining the rest. I'm over it.
Yeah.
It's another slow start, Lito. It's another slow start again. It's year 6.
Yeah.
He
Like this.
over the weekend went 7 of 29 from the field in 2 games against Portland. 7 of 29. Go ahead.
Oh man. Yeah, it's time. I would like to have a conversation.
Yeah, let's have a conversation.
Over the summer, me and Chris did a show about Chris asked me if Zion could potentially be MVP of the league. And I told him no. I don't see it. I think the moment has passed. And I want to preface everything I'm about to say by saying this. What I'm saying isn't necessarily a reflection of what happened tonight. I'm speaking of the tenure. You know what I'm saying?
It's not just one game. And don't give me the 1 game bullshit. I'm glad you brought that up, Lito, because it's not just 1 game.
No. I'm not talking about 1 game. I'm literally talking about his career as a Pelican. I mean, if I gotta be honest with you, man, look, for the flashes of greatness that he's shown, I would have to say overall it's been a disappointment. He has not lived up to. And this is just not me talking. I feel like if you asked Zion Williamson, if he was honest, you had a conversation, you asked him, based on what you were built as you came into the NBA, do you think you've lived up to that, right? The thing is this. This is year 6.
Yeah.
This is year 6. What have you worked on? What have you added to your game? What have you what do you work on in the summer? Summer workouts. I tweeted this tonight. Zion looked like a guy who has not touched a basketball for a lot of the summer.
Well, and this is the issue that I get to, Ross, is okay, well, Zion, shit, you called it a couple weeks ago. Well, Zion, had that whole sickness thing, didn't touch a basketball for 5 days. Okay, fine, fair. Okay, well, he still practiced Thursday. He played Friday. He practiced Saturday. And then you look like what you did.
Hold on, Justin. I'm not finished.
Oh.
Excuse me 1 second. This is the point I'm trying to make. Usually, you could mask these deficiencies by his generational efficiency, right? Now, you are not getting that. He was shooting 71% at the rim at one point in his career. Now, you're not getting that. I'm seeing less and less dunks. There's less and less explosiveness as far as like getting to the rim. I saw people are just tall people are using their height against him, and he cannot use his will to go. He can't get his shot over them. He's still, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he's not explosive as far as like getting to the rim, but like once he gets there, that's where the problem lies. And listen, we've given Brandon a lot of shit. We've given him a lot of shit, but you got to salute a guy who's at least able to change up his shot diet, right? The three may not be falling at this current moment, but he's willing to take it. Where are the jumpers that we were promised in the offseason? Where are the little nuances and things that were supposedly added to his game that we have not seen?
A post move.
What? Not only that, all right, a post move, right? Cool, I'm with that. If the game is not working for you, if your shot is not falling, how about you do something else? Brandon, he didn't have a great game, but Brandon had 8 rebounds?
Brandon, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 14 points, 1 of 3 from deep.
Yo, you got to come in. My shot not falling. Let me get involved in the game other ways. Let me get other people involved, right? I just, and again, this is not one game that I'm talking about, but I'm gonna land my plane. Go ahead, Ross.
No, I mean, to your point, right? Going back to his second year in the league, points per game have gone down every year. His efficiency from a field goal perspective have gone down every year. And some years it's subtle, some years it's been a bigger drop. But I mean, that going back to his second year, he averaged 27 points a game. Obviously, that bled down last year. It was at 23 this year. I mean, we're only a handful of games in, but he's at like 16 or 15. That second year in the league, he shot 61 or 62%. That's been a consistent drop down to even last year. It was 57%. He's still like efficient, but this year, so far through 3 games, another big drop. And I think you hit the nail on the head with it's we compliment him for being able to finish around the basket sometimes creatively with his left hand. He's got a soft touch around the rim. That's a skill, an innate skill that he's very, very good at. But he also used to be able to just dunk on you. And he also used to play above the rim a lot more than he does now. And I think you saw tonight, I mean, we talked about it like just before the show. How many shots did he get blocked or tipped tonight?
Or just lose the ball?
It's the same. There's just nothing that's been added to his game other than straight line drive back to the basket, like, post play where he just goes over his right shoulder. There's just nothing new. And, we made the comment that like when he came in the league first year, second year, I think we all agreed like, man, this is a potential, if he can stay healthy and continues to improve, a potential MVP type talent. Now I wonder if he's healthy, if he's like even a, somebody that you just write on the all-star sheet every year. I don't even think he's that. Like a guy that just is a no doubt, Giannis, like a no doubt he's going to be an all-star every year if he's healthy. Just put him on the team.
Before we get to Chaz, what would you say to somebody that says like, oh, it's only 2 games, you're overreacting?
No, I'd say it's 6 years.
Yeah, we're not
like,
talking,
I don't know. What do you mean? No,
games.
I mean, I'm not. Yeah, like is he better than these first 3 games or 2 games for him? Like, yeah, he is. But like last year was overall like not what it was. Chaz always talks about it, like those Stan Van Gundy years or whatever. Like he's not the same level of talent that he should be. that he was billed as. He just isn't. That to me is absolutely unequivocally, like, we can't even argue that.
Yeah. Chaz, go ahead.
Damn, I feel like I almost gotta push back a little bit just from the things I saw tonight, specifically as compared to the thing I saw in the second game. Well, the first game to the second game, third game. Well, I'm gonna lead off with saying Zion was. I used to say you can be bad because everyone has a bad night, but what you can't be is God fucking awful. His toe was on the line of being God fucking awful. I did think he was a part of that run in the third quarter where they had a half-ass comeback, got to the line, made us free throws tonight. Cool, whatever. Got to do a better job rebounding. Definitely got to play much better defense. The thing that's frustrating me the absolute fucking most is I don't think Zion should be in the post anyway.
Ever.
Like I just don't that's the thing that's bothering me. It's like, again, I've never seen Zion start a season off fast. Even the Stan Van Gundy year, the MVP year, never seen him start the season off fast. The question I have is, okay, DeJounte Murray's gone. Why aren't we just doing point Zion? Why isn't Zion just initiating the offense? Zion is a downhill player. Zion is a big fucking De'Aaron Ross. I say De'Aaron Ross. De'Aaron Fox. To Fox's credit, he now takes threes. Maybe a little too much, but he takes threes. You're supposed to use Zion in that way. The game's too slow. Get him going downhill. Stop putting him on the fucking block. He don't got no. He's not Zach Randolph. It isn't who he is. And I felt like that's why I said nothing has changed. When Murray got hurt, that's why I said nothing has changed, because you're gonna easily go back to what you did last season. It's like, yo, why are you running the same brand of isolation basketball? Get like no curls, no screens to get him moving. Even Herb, if you notice, Herb isn't cutting to the rim much anymore. Like, you're not really, not really generating any open looks for Herb. The only unit that ever looks good to me, well, of course, the starting unit with when you add MIssi, the DeJounte and Brandon, when you added MIssi, CJ, Hawk, that unit looked well. But the only two players that look like they played together before are Zion and Hawkins to me. And I'm like, what's going on? And I thought MIssi had another very good night.
We're talking about for sure.
But overall, I'm just like, I feel like he's playing really bad, right? But I also feel like everything is so difficult. And dog, it was so noticeable. If you listen to the fucking Portland broadcast, you're not rolling those 6'6" power forward out there, playing them that close to the rim. Well, you got at one point, the Pelicans didn't have a person on the court taller than 6'7", and that was Herb Jones, and he was guarding Klingon. And if Portland was smarter, they would have gave the ball directly to Klingon. It's just the Pelicans are too small, they're too slow. You need to be running point Zion. And to me, that's really the longest shot of it. Brandon and Zion didn't fit before. There's the reason those two never have a good game at the same time. Like it just don't work. Like you need to, he needs to definitely take on this over his own career and be a lot better. I'm just wondering, like, why everybody's suffering? Like, why everybody looks bad? Like, we gotta get a better offense out there.
So Chaz, you bring up a lot of good points, and Ross, I wanted to pitch this to you like tonight, and Chaz, let me know, like, how many minutes do you think Brandon and Zion spent together on the court tonight? Because I rarely see them, besides the starting tip and the opening in the second half, they're never on the court together.
I would say half of their minutes. I mean, it's probably more.
It's just weird that your two best players on the roster never really share the floor together, right? Because Zion goes out 6 minutes, then Zion comes back in 3. Brandon's off the court. I think Zion starts the second quarter, and Zion goes out. Brandon comes in, and they start the second half together, and then that's it. And then maybe in the closing lineup, but that's really it. And I think I was in my notes today, like, I'm gonna go back and see how many minutes they spent on the court together. one more thing I want to talk about Zion, Lito. Did you want to add anything? Because I wanted to ask you a question
Go ahead.
about Zion's offseason, right?
Oh,
Like-
please.
Well, what I'm not understanding, and y'all bring up good points. Why is it why is it a slow start every year? Like, I know the answer.
Yeah.
But you rarely see him. And look, when players post highlights in the offseason, whatever, like, I don't put that much into it. But at the same time, you never see Zion. You never see Zion work out, or you never see Zion on the court. What does he add in the offseason? So we talked about how he's in the best shape, and he's talking about this jumper and this and that. Haven't seen a jumper through 2 games. Haven't seen a post move. Haven't seen any better footwork. His ball handling's terrible. He's sloppy. He's falling all over the floor. Like, what did he add this offseason?
So let me just say to Chaz's point about Herb has not looked great either. That's a whole nother conversation.
I can't wait to have that conversation because I totally disagree, but I can't wait to have that conversation.
All right. Zion Williamson. I'm not sure he's playing basketball in the offseason. He can't be. We were told he is in the best shape of his life, right? He wants to come into the season at a certain weight. The weight was 284 on the bill.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he was billed at, 284. We were told by his stepdad and several other sources it was supposed to be 271 or something like that. It was the goal. This is the mantra in life. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. So he's not ready, right? It doesn't look like he's ready. If he's not ready, the Pelicans can't be ready. So when is he going to be ready? Again, this is not 2 games I'm talking about. This is year 6. Like, I'm not focusing on these games. I don't. Again, if you came in late on that rant, I don't want you to think that. This is year 6 of when is he going to be ready. I agree with Chaz about Zion in the post, but at the same time, like, I feel like this: if you have a mismatch, it shouldn't be brain surgery where you have to take advantage of that. It shouldn't be. We shouldn't have to draw up a play if you have a smaller player on you in the post. I don't love him there, but I could accept him taking care of the mismatch. Zion has a bitty basketball post game.
That's a great description.
He has elementary footwork. I see kids in 6th, 7th grade that have better footwork than him in the post. I'm not dissing. I'm just giving you a fact, right? But I'm gonna tell you what happened. This is when the athleticism for him kicked in very early on. So he never got to learn the fundamentals of the game, but he was physically gifted by God to have these abilities nobody else had. He lacks basketball principles because of his God-given abilities, right? Now, pair that with the lack of being a hard worker and being undisciplined, whether that be diet-wise,
on and off the court, right? And working on your game. And this is where we at again in year 6. And that's why, like, I think it's like, this isn't an overreaction, Ross. Like, it's not one game. It's not. It's just the same process over and over again. I'm so sick and tired of him getting off to another slow start this year. You miss opening night for, being sick, whatever it was. And now you come back and you look like shit in the next 2 games.
It's just always something. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just never, it's never like CJ is a good example. Like, you just know what you may not like it, okay, but you know what you're going to get from CJ. Like, he's going to show up ready to play. He's going to play the same way. He's going to shoot 3-pointers. He's going to play. He's going to be prepared and ready. Now, you may not like the results, whatever you're thinking, that's fine, but you know what to expect. He's a professional. He's going to do things the right way. All this stuff. You just have no clue what you're going to get from, like, and there's always some excuse. He wasn't in shape. He was sick. He didn't play for a few weeks. He was this, that, or the other. Like, nobody, like, it's just always something. He's rehabbing. He's on a minutes restriction or whatever. Like, it's just always something. Like, does he ever just play? Like, are we ever just going to just play?
I can't remember a minutes restriction.
Like, with no whatever. I don't understand it. And that for me is why you get these sort of, if you want to call them overreactions, it's because it's just always something. Yeah,
and that's why it leads this comment, Blue Jay. Appreciate your comment, but respectfully, it's not just game 3. It's year 6. Like, this is what we're talking about. It's the same thing every single year. If you can't see that, like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, have your own opinion. That's fine. I'm just saying this isn't just game 3. It's the same process over and over and over again of showing up into a new season in which you now have to be a guy. You can't lean on Jonas Valanciunas to get rebounds. Getting 3 rebounds and being out rebounded, doubled by Jordan Hawkins is fucking unacceptable. I don't give a shit
what
anymore.
People have to understand is, yes, every year the expectations have gone up. And now we're sitting here. We've been building up to this for years, that Brandon's contract is off the book. Like, Brandon is a free agent next year. He's not under contract. Okay. Like, everyone has basically been saying, build this team around Zion, build it around Zion, build it around. Well, like, we're now at a point where, like, the clock is up. Like, the timer is up. If I don't feel good about where we're going to be at building a team with that guy as the centerpiece, well, then, yeah, I'm going to overreact. I'm going to overreact every time, because you're talking about the entire future of the franchise, like the whole future of the franchise that you put yourself in. Like, the cap sheet is the cap sheet at this point. There's no room to go sign Brandon to some large, like, long-term contract. Like, the team is going to be built around Zion Williamson. So yes, there's crazy expectations, unless you're comfortable just being like an 8 seed or something, which I'm not. I don't want to cheer for that.
Lito, I gotta stop reading comments, but like, yeah, okay, like, he's averaged 20 for 10 straight years, Charles. Like, I appreciate your comments, but like, okay, go ahead, Chaz. Shot 42%.
I think CJ was the second best player on the floor tonight, if not the first. Towards the end, he kind of fell off, but also CJ's 33 years old. Like, CJ
In shape.
At this stage of his career, he's a role player. To me, again, how the offseason was handled going into the preseason, it's almost like, even last game, right? I had tweeted, like, I kind of get a team a pass because they hadn't played together since April, and they still haven't fucking played together to this point, right? Because, you know, you gotta mention DeJounte being out, you gotta mention Trey. But I was speaking specifically about Brandon and Ingram. Brandon and Zion. I was speaking specifically about those two not playing together since April. And the last time you saw them, they didn't look good. The last time, like, couple of times you saw them together, it's like, bro, why do you keep doing like this? You shouldn't even be in this situation, right? So you lean into that one mistake, and then you say, fuck it. Let me lean into another mistake. Let me lean further in. All right. I had an issue with Zion not playing over 20 minutes in the preseason. I didn't understand why they did that in the 2 games they did it. The first game, I get it. The second game, why didn't you try to push the envelope? I'm just not understanding why you're not doing it, because it comes to a certain point where, look, you know who you're dealing with, right? If you know who you're dealing with, you gotta do the shit accordingly. You gotta surround your team, or you gotta build a team that can be good, independent of Zion, right? So I just don't get it. The team, look, man, I just gotta be honest. This is a stupid organization. It's stupid. It's just a stupid organization from top to bottom. 5 tried to call it out last game, but Ross as well. He was just met with a lot of resistance when they was like, yo, look, the Bulls aren't a good team. And people like, they beat the Bucks. The Bucks ain't good neither. Like, the Bucks just lost to the Nets. Like, these are all average to slightly below average, maybe above average from time to time teams. Like, to me, Portland is the more talented team. I expected Portland to win this game, and I thought they should have won the last game. Brandon Zion don't fit. The offensive strategy, whoever's in charge of it right now, it looks like Willie Green. It looks awful. I don't understand why Zion is still in the post playing so close to the basket, where it's easier for players to converge on the 6'6" power forward. I don't understand why he's playing power forward. I think Herb's been terrible at center. I think it's just been a whole entire shit show, personally.
So I want to talk about Herb for a little bit, because, you know, obviously we have to talk about. I see something. I agree with you, Chad. Like, Herb at the center, like, I don't want to see that. Like, I just don't want to see.
Yeah, it. And that's not his fault. And you know, that's not his fault.
That's like where you like people like interpret what you're saying. Herb Jones at the center should not be an option at all, ever, in the middle of a game, third quarter, like fourth quarter. Okay, for like maybe like a possession or two, but for 3 or 4 minutes for Herb Jones to be guarding centers is insane to me. I also hate Lito. He is not involved in the offense. I think it's disgusting. I think it's an absolute travesty that dude today had 0 field goal attempts in the first quarter or the first half. This dude can play. You saw what he can do from deep last year. He has great IQ. He can handle the basketball. You can put him in so many different positions. You can put him at the top. You can put him at the elbow. You can put him in the corner. You can put him in the slot. He's one of the best slot cutters in the league. He understands how to read and react. And he's also a great off-ball screener as well. I have not liked Lito the way he's been involved in this offense over the last 3 games. Hopefully it changes. But to have 0 shot attempts in the first half, and then I think he goes, let's see, give me a second. Pull up the box score. So he had 0 shot attempts in the first half. He ends up 5 of 7 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep, 12 points, goes to free throw line 2 times. I just don't understand his usage. Like, I just don't think that Herb Jones is just a guy that just should sit in the corner and just, catch and shoot threes. I think he should be involved in multiple ways, especially with DeJounte Murray out.
We talked about this last year, the start of the year, just parking him in the corner. Like we've been there. We read the story. We saw the book. We saw the author of the book. You know what I'm saying? We saw how the story ended. The middle of the book was trash. I think when I say Herb hasn't been great, I necessarily I wasn't saying it was even Herb's own fault that he hasn't been great. He just hasn't been put in a spot or a space to be great.
Almost like he's forgotten.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but I tried to have this conversation in the summer, and I said somebody is gonna have to basically be the odd man out in the situation if you add DeJounte Murray to the mix. Now, crazy enough, DeJounte Murray is not even available, and you still can't scheme for Herb. And when I say scheme, like, bro, I'm not asking for a lot. Same shit we've been asking for. Maybe DHOs, let him initiate the offense.
Play through him. Play the top.
Play through him just so teams won't leave him standing in the corner.
With another guy waiting for Zion Williams. Like,
that's it.
That's the thing. Go ahead, Rob.
No, I think this said this before the season started when everybody was who's going to start, who's going to do this, who's going to be involved. And we kept saying, I'm telling you, Herb is going to be the odd man out. He's not going to start. This looks all around like a team that, we joked about it and we get annoyed by it because we say, oh, they didn't play together and they were all in theory healthy during the preseason and none of them still played together. This looks like a team that didn't play together, that had no plan, that, Willie Green kept saying, oh, we're going to figure out the center thing. That's exactly what this looks like.
That was David Griffin that said that, by the way.
But Willie Green, who said, I don't know my starting lineup all the way up. Like, you know what? Hey, I believe him. I don't think he knew or we knew what they were going to do. And that's exactly what it looks like to me with the way Herb Jones has been used, with the way the whole Zion and Brandon thing is still just what it's been for the last 4 or 5 years. This whole thing looks like a team that just didn't know. We kept joking about, we're going to figure it out. It looks like a team that went into the regular season saying, we're going to figure it out. And I think Herb Jones was the odd man out. I think Herb Jones was the one they didn't have a plan for. Oh, it's Herb. Like, he's a Swiss Army knife. We can do anything. We'll just kind of plug him in and he'll figure it out. That's what it looks like. It looks like a guy that you had no plan for, that you still have no plan for because you were expecting Trey to be there and you were expecting Murray to be there and you were expecting all these things to just work themselves out. Well, this is the real world. This is the NBA. The best basketball players on earth, supposedly the best coaches on earth. You're not just going to figure it out. Like, you needed a plan. You needed something, some guidance. You needed a script, and they don't have it. And that to me, even though you're 2-1, you were losing at halftime of this one. You were losing, I think, by 10 on Friday, and you might have been tied or up 1 against that crappy Bulls team on opening night. This has not been a team that's played well. Like, I think this is a symptom of what has happened all offseason and through training camp.
Go ahead, Chaz.
To me, and this is not a knock on Herb. To me, this is a knock on coaching and the organization valuing, I guess, being emotional versus being logical. when you lose Trey Murphy, who we all know should have been starting, right? The only person who can realistically mimic that skill set is a Jordan Hawkins, right? Maybe even to a high degree because he moves a lot more off ball, and he rebounds well. Herb shouldn't be starting now. I don't care who's out. Herb should not be starting, even if that's like with Zion, right? It goes back to Zion. There's still one shooter on the court at all times. Brandon doesn't have the reputation yet to where you're gonna say, "Oh fuck, I can't lose that guy off ball." That's just not where he is yet at this stage, right? If he continues to shoot how he did the first 2 games, he'll get there. But now you still have one shooter on the court at all times, which is CJ. Like in the starting unit, one shooter was CJ. Thies is a non-factor. Herb should be running the backup point. That's what Herb should be doing. Jose should be situational at best. Jose has been really bad going from the preseason going into now. He's another guy who has a lot of ebbs and flows, right? And when you got a bunch of people who have ebbs and flows, just because they have a name or a brand, you really can't just force feed them. Yeah, they deserve an opportunity to figure out. And I do believe Herb will figure it out. But that's not the skill set you need right now. With DeJounte being out.
I don't mean to cut you off, but who would you start? I want to ask this question. Who would you start right now today if it wasn't
right
Herb?
Now, my starting unit, you say it's not instead of Herb or just in general?
No, like right now today, like DeJounte and Trey are out.
It would be Zion, Brandon, CJ, Hawkins, and MIssi. And this is why I say that. Because you're already small, right? So Herb isn't playing like awesome defense neither right now. So you're small. You're so small that your perimeter defense doesn't even matter, right? Like that's how small you are. Like the wingspans aren't there. Brandon's defense has been bad. Like your defense don't even matter. Like that's how small you are right now. You might as well lean all the way into your offensive strengths until you get healthy. And even then, your defense probably still won't matter that much because you don't have a center. MIssi, he's filled it admirably, but he's still like a 15, 20-minute guy. He's going to get fouls. He's still learning. It's unfair to demand that of him at this stage. Tice, I think he's been serviceable. I think he has been serviceable. But right now, you got to go into offense. You're not stopping anybody anyway. If Dini was better in the first half, you would have been down 25 points in the first half. If Ayton didn't shit the bed in the first game, you would have lost that game by like 20. The team is just too small. They're small. They're slow in this brand of offense. They're slow without DeJounte or running point Zion. That's just what it is.
It's
and
funny.
They're not strong. They aren't physically strong. Like, so that's the problem, in my opinion.
One of the small and not strong.
Well, I thought slow, small, and not strong. Chaz, it's actually, you brought up a good point. Probably in that third quarter when they were making that like fake run or whatever, I thought one of their best lineups was Brandon, MIssi, Hawkins, CJ, and Javonte. I thought that was like one of their best lineups that they like put out there. Like they were playing fast and they were scoring. But I mean, it's a perfect segue, Lito. I mean, we've been pretty negative as per usual for a lot of your comments. We've been real, is what we are.
Yeah, I'm never negative at all.
Yeah, never. Sorry.
If we're just like real. Sunshine and rainbows, like, bro, it's other podcasts for you to listen to.
Yeah, speaking of which, powered by Sunshine. Appreciate y'all. And Chris Smith of Keller Williams, one of the top realtors in New Orleans, located 8601 Leak Avenue. For free marketing evaluation of your property or book a property tour, give him a call at 504-231-2004 or email him at chrissmithhomes.com. It's chrissmithhomes.com. Jordan Hawkins, Lito. I mean, look, I've been saying this now for a year and a half. You know, certain people said that I had no idea what I was talking about. I think it's just, I'm smiling ear to ear right now because that motherfucker can hoop.
He can hoop.
And he has gotten so much better. He looks so confident. He's shooting. He's pull up, mid range is good. He's defending. He's rebounding. I think personally, he's looked the best for 3 straight games.
Two players cannot be overstated. Their improvement from when you saw them in summer league to the version of them you see now, and that's MIssi. The MIssi you saw in Summer League was a complete aberration of a basketball player. Hawkins in Summer League was terrible.
Position.
Exactly. But I mean, you gotta call it how you see it. He wasn't good. However, you see the guy now. I want to say, like, Justin, he was out of position, but he couldn't dribble. You know what I'm saying? Like,
my favorite part is like, well, David Griffin was like challenging him. Bullshit. You weren't thinking that far ahead. Get out of here, bro.
He couldn't dribble. He looked like in that 3 week to a month span, he got in the lab. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've seen Hawkins be really decisive. He's always had great movement off the basketball. He's just, I want to say, I don't even want to say he trusts his instinct. That motherfucker delusional anyway. He don't. There's not a defender for him. There's not a guy who's on the defense. Willie Green played the best defense against him last year. You know what I'm saying? Like, other than that, like, nobody on the floor is going, like, dog, he don't think it's a guy on earth right now who could defend him.
Can I tell you something, Lito?
Sure.
He's playing with confidence. I think it's the biggest thing I've seen from him. He's playing with actual confidence. And I think if you would have done the same thing last year, you were doing him this year. But like, to Ross's point, like, he was struggling. But also, how do you get into a rhythm when you're in the lineup, you're out of the lineup, you're getting DMPs? Like, it's hard. Like,
you gotta have.
He knows he's getting minutes now.
You gotta have, when you have specialty players. You can't run the same old bullshit for him. You gotta get in your back, right? You got a guy who is a specialty player. He's a shooter, but he's a movement shooter. You got to be creative with that. And to be honest, I hope, shout out to Trey. I hope that's one of the things that Trey continues to add to his bag, the movement with the shot. Like, I know he's working on the getting his off the dribble, but like, it could be so much easier with DeJounte now if you continue to just have motion.
Yeah. Ross, Chaz had tweeted out something along the lines of Zion and Hawkins are special together, kind of like how Zion and Trey work together. I mean, when Zion finally gets back to being normal, how do you like that pairing?
I like it a lot. And for the reason, like, I saw Hawkins do one thing tonight. It might have been the first possession he was in. Flashes out for a three. Defender overplays it. Immediately cuts back door. I think Tice threw it and they fouled him. Yeah, but it was just so instinctual. And that's what Chaz always talks about, is that every 3-point shooter doesn't get the same respect. Even Hawkins, who is thought of as a shooter, last year the results were mixed, but people know he can shoot. He gets a different level of respect than somebody like Herb, who shot 42 or 43, whatever the number was last year. Like, they're not going to guard Herb.
But it's almost like, prove it to me.
Nobody's going to go overplay Herb flashing out to the 3-point line the way they did. So I think he's seeing things a little different. But yeah, that lineup in theory with, you envision a day where you've got some options. CJ, elite shooter. Hawk, the way he's able to move off the ball, the way he's a movement shooter. He's got just an incredibly quick release. And then, you add Trey to that, and it's, there's the makings of something from a theoretical perspective that could be interesting.
You know what? Can I add? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, bro.
I would say, but it's academic at this point. Like, I don't know.
And that's the point. It's funny you say that, because to me, the entire thing is academic, right? Because you go back to the Stan Van Gundy year. You go to that. Let's just say the Stan Van Gundy year, or the time when you saw Zion with JJ Redick, right? Hawkins and Zion can mimic a ton of things that JJ Redick was capable to do, probably at a better rate, because Hawkins costs a better athlete, and he's younger because JJ was at the end of his proverbial rope, right? And you even see the situation with Trey, where Trey can mimic a lot of things. You see the efficacy of the ghost screen and things they do together, and like how much of a threat those guys are. Like, people fear those two guys as shooters, right? But you look at in the last 2 seasons, of course, Trey started off injured, but you don't really have any. They don't run the actions for Zion and CJ like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you see with those actions. CJ, for the most part, gets his shots off the dribble or it's a stationary shooter. There's not a ton of actions between Zion and CJ for whatever fucking reason. But it's like, bro, you keep seeing this isn't working. Like, you know what I'm saying? You keep saying this isn't working. And I understand that you don't want to go to an extreme pivot, but what I meant by all of it being academic is you're going to be in a constant state of having questions, because this should have been the year that you evaluated Zion, right? As the face of the team. This should have been that year, right? For different reasons, the shit didn't work out, whatever. But you already know what doesn't work. Right, you already know that the Brandon Zion pairing doesn't work. Then you throw Herb into the equation, who's having a rough year. DeJounte's out. You're putting a heavier load on CJ, who isn't getting any younger. Trey's out. You don't have a center. It's like this. It's been fucking ridiculous.
I'll figure it out.
Like, yeah, I have no doubt they'll figure it out. But it's just like, bruh, I don't understand. To me. And they had to do this on purpose because, again, I haven't seen a team whose media day. I'm talking about even when Rondo signed here. Rondo said, I'm here to compete for a championship. The Pelicans didn't have any goals going into this season, and they played like a team. Brandon plays like a dude trying to get paid or traded and then paid, right? I don't know what Zion doing right now. The whole team look like they're just here. Team look like they're just here. Like, go ahead, Justin, my bad.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Like, the president of basketball operations literally said, we're going to figure it out. That's an acceptable answer. No one else says that. And everyone's just like, yeah, they will. We'll figure it out.
Imagine if that's
we're going to figure it out.
Think about that, though.
I always want to break down the press conference again.
If that's the standard you set
figure
going
it
into
out.
the season, like that's the
$1 billion operation.
That was the bar that you set as expectations. Well, yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Figure it out. We got some interesting pieces. We're gonna figure it out. Like,
Ross, that leads me to what the fuck is going on right now? Shout out to a time.
Shout out 4D. Shout out 4D in the background.
Shout out 4D.
Helping me stay awake on these.
And shout out Elon. That's an Elon polo.
That's a hell of a game day polo.
Hey Justin, somebody in the comments was like, shout out to Cole. I think Cole's like he's gonna be a Spurs fan. Somebody else said it might be fun being a Timberwolves fan. And in all honesty, like I think the thing about that is when you think about the players who you consider a superstar, like if I got an Ant Edwards on my team, I got a Tatum, I got a
Jaden Daniels instead of
like whoever the team is that you root for that has a superstar, it gotta be a great feeling knowing every night that motherfucker go show up. He gonna regardless of the coaches. Ooh, that boy, I was about to go over the line. Regardless if the coach is not the greatest or the game plan is not the greatest, right? The fucking superstar, because like dog, at the end of the day, like I mean, Chris Finch, he fuck up too. Like every coach has.
David Griffin fired him. Just throwing that out there.
I mean,
to your point, I'm watching that. I don't know if it was opening night or the second night. The Lakers, the Lakers T-Wolves game. Lakers jump out to like I don't know. I feel like they were up 15 or 18 or something. I think it's late in the second quarter, and Anthony Edwards, I believe, drives and gets an and one and is screaming at his own team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Screaming at his own team as he's walking to the free throw line, demanding, like, let's go. Let's get this shit together. The game's not over. The first game of the year. Screaming at his own teammates, not in a demeaning way, but just setting a standard of like, hey, this is the real season. This is the real thing. We're not just giving games away with like, and it got to your point. Like it's refreshing and like, makes me upset because we don't have anybody like that. But like, it's just one of those things you see it and you're like, that even if that team, the roster doesn't fit or whatever, that team has a standard that they're going to play to. And like, they're going to be around late in the season. They're going to be a top 4 seed. Like, just lock it in.
Did you catch LeBron's post-game presser, what he was saying after the game a couple nights ago? Did anyone see that he said?
Talking about AD playing through AD?
No. They were like, he goes, I'm going to play in every game. Someone goes, you playing back-to-back? He goes, I'm playing every game.
It's a standard, dog.
I'm playing every game.
Standard.
Just like how it goes back to like when everyone's like, oh, y'all making such a big deal. Like Zion doesn't have to play 3 preseason. Yes, he fucking does have to play 3 preseason games. And so does Brandon, because they haven't accomplished anything.
Diddly poo.
They couldn't do diddly poo offensively. Actually, that would actually be a really good. We really could do diddly poo offensively in either game today.
I
Go ahead, Chaz.
wanted to address this real quick. You can't really say that, Von, too real, for a couple of reasons. One, the Bulls are bad. For two, they weren't together. Like that's the whole point of all of this. It only matters if Zion and Brandon are together. The other pieces are more or less replaceable. If those two aren't together playing well at the same time, then nothing else matters. Right, like Murray, yeah, but they played more time together than Murray had with them on the court. Murray's never even played with Brandon up until the final preseason game, going into the first game. It's just like the team this team still has not played together, and the whole team won't be together till maybe December at the earliest. That's insane. That's unacceptable. Like, even with the Timberwolves, it's funny because I thought Ant kind of shot them out that first game, but because they were coming back, the Ant, he was crazy. Yeah, but he's still Anthony Edwards, and that team that's a team with a plan. They moved on from Cat because they're like, wait, we got to fill out the rest of this roster. Like, they're thinking we're going to be contending for years and years and years to come. With the Pelicans, it's like, I don't know what you're doing. You're just trying to figure it out. You're just a team trying to figure. Like, come on, man. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
What? You want to say?
I mean, like, just to Ross is like, you talked about LeBron saying he's not gonna miss a game. I was watching. I just started watching.
Say it.
The Netflix show.
Oh, starting 5.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it. And Brown was just
Fantastic.
going off on like all the coaches and shit. Like, man, this shit is stupid.
The first game
of the season, and that's why like it kind of pisses you off when you see people saying, "Man, this is game 2," or like next week everything's gonna be okay. Like, I'm not talking about right now. I'm literally talking about the whole experiment of the shit. Like, and this is my thing, bro. This is how I feel. Like, I'm not a loser in real life. So, like, I don't want to root for losers. And if it don't bother you that, like, this team just kind of like bullshits you, like, and they came out so flat today.
And it goes back to like what Nick Saban says: high achievers don't like average people, and average people don't like high achievers. And we brought this up when we were literally at Theo's, Ross. I was like, who the fuck do we think we were? We're like, oh, we beat Portland. We'll just show back up. No. There's no like just killer instinct, killer mentality. And I actually liked I saw Brandon do it in game 2 against Portland. I clipped it up where like he saw like shit was going south and like he huddled everybody up.
Yeah.
The cracks phones out.
You hear those beautiful sounds?
Dude, I love that. I don't know if anyone else could hear it.
Cracks
Magazine
phone
streets
out there
going
just-
crazy. But like I also think like that's where you do miss DeJounte Murray, Ross, a little bit. It's like I would have loved to see how DeJounte would have acted when they struggled in the first half on Friday and then how they played today. Like, do you think, I'm not saying it makes a difference, but I'm saying maybe he's a guy that would hold people accountable.
Yeah, and it's not like, I mean, it is about holding people accountable and playing the same way every night and having expectations and stuff. But for me, it's still like a lot to expect from DeJounte to be
Griffin
that.
called him the leader.
I know he did. I know he did. And I hope that like maybe at some point he will be. And look, sure, I think he would have made a difference. But for me, he would have made a difference because he's a better basketball player than the players we have out there. He's better than Jose. He's better than Javonte. Like he's a better player. And so I think from that perspective, yeah, he would have helped. But I don't know if he solves like the big picture issue of what we've seen from this team, it's just so frustrating on a night in and night out basis. You just really don't know what you're going to get from these guys. You don't.
No.
Pause.
You know the good. My bad, Chaz.
No, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Ross was saying that he's better than Jose. He's better than whoever else you name, Javante, right?
Oh my God, that's a hell of a stat. Sorry, Lito. Go ahead.
I think that the issue is, I can't wait till we didn't get to Missi yet because
about to talk about him.
All right, but shout out, yes, I think that DeJounte would have likely made a difference as far as like his attitude. But the thing is, like we've all been saying for the past however many years we've been doing the show, until I guess I can't even say 14 unless it matters to 1 in 14 because 14 showed he cared, right? Until 1 like shows he fucking cares all the time and not some of the time. Yo, you know what? And again, dog, I hate to, I know I don't hate to say it, but like we've been kicking Brandon ass, right? And what's his name? Zion gets to show up and care whenever he feels like.
Accountability. Let's talk Missi.
What if he's just not that good?
Well,
we pod now.
Like, and
that's gotta be a shirt. It really
like,
is. It's just
but what if like what if we've seen the best Zion? Like what if it's like what if last year like that? What if that was as good as it is? Like what
I mean, we'll win 49 games and
because I think it's a real question. Like it's a real question. Like what I've said the same thing with Herb last. Like I think Herb last year was probably the ceiling. Like as good as in this setup, probably as good as you will ever get. And like, what if that point late in the season last year, like, what if that's the best? Like that's a pinnacle.
But here's the thing again, is that Zion, Brandon, and CJ do not complement each other. It's the same. It's literally the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing, but expecting different results. And that's where we're at.
To me, that's really the issue because I'm like, I agree with Ross. And my caveat with Herb and with Zion, and with Trey Murphy is if you're gonna have Willie Green, you need to just trade them all. Because now we just in this for fun. Nothing matters. We just in here for shits and giggles. You ain't got no real aspirations. Because Willie Green's never going to utilize these guys properly, especially not offensively. And I think when you talk about playing with an attitude or you're talking about just the best brand of basketball you've seen, it's always when they aren't together. Specifically, you talk about that December a couple years ago. You talk about, after Brandon goes down with the horrible bone bruise, terrible injury, Suggs is an asshole. This past season, prior to the play-in, you talk about Brandon gets benched in the play-in game versus the Lakers. Zion scores 40 points. Now, personally, I don't think Zion could be the best player on the championship team. I think he could be the second best because his game is limited. I think you got to get a person who can score in more versatile ways. But also, I'll say you ain't gonna never get a chance to see if he can be the best player on a good team because we never seen the pieces like complement one another. Like it's a shit show. Even with Herb, I'm like, man, there's so many other things Herb can do, and you will just never see him get an opportunity to do it offensively. I ain't saying he about to be no fucking 6 man of the year candidate or nothing, but there are things he can do that's like better than with shout out to Jose Alvarado. In the situation you're in where you're already small, you need to kind of steal size where you can get it. And having Jose Alvarado out there versus a 6'3" Scoot Henderson, it ain't gonna really get too much more. It ain't gonna get too much more even than that. You know what I'm saying? In size. If Jose isn't shooting, he really ain't giving you anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? And last point, to me, the reason why I think it's more organizational versus players, and even Brandon. Like, as much as I get Brandon, he don't get no easy shots neither. I remember when Drew Holiday was here, and this is blasphemous. This might be blasphemous. They asked Drew Holiday, Drew, what you need? This when Elfrid Payton was here, then Elfrid Payton got hurt, and That's why I love DeJounte Murray, but I don't want to put too much stock in that neither because I saw the team couldn't win without Elfrid Payton. So the bar is low. But they asked Drew Holiday, Drew, what do you need? He said, man, I need y'all to get me off ball. Not when I'm paying you $20 fucking million. You don't. You need to figure it out. Yep. And that's my problem. This organization just lets this weak shit go. Like, yeah, Drew went somewhere else. He became a masterful third option, got 2 rings, deserved a Hall of Fame player. But when he was here, he didn't figure it out. And they never demanded that he figure it out. Like when they say he's going to be MVP Drew, that didn't happen. He didn't figure it out.
Is it unfair that this organization is always asking second and third like tier or guy, like on guys that we all agree would be best as second or third on a championship team? Is it unfair to always ask that guy to figure it out? It's above them. Like they can't figure it out because out of that ilk, like they're it feels that to me feels like I understand what you're saying and I agree, but at the same time, like he's not that. Like if he's not that, he's just not that. You know.
But and damn, I don't want to get hung up on the Drew Holiday talking point, but with Drew, Anthony Davis had over delivered offensively. Like he was never, he never going to be, the best player on a great team, but offensively, he was never supposed to be as good as he became. So you just got to step it up a little bit. You were an all-star point guard. Like at that time, Drew Holiday was a former all-star point guard when he was with the 76ers, and it just never worked out. With Brandon, you're really just asking him to shoot threes. Like it ain't like, I want you to abandon everything you know. Nah, just shoot some fucking threes, brother. Like, just shoot a couple threes and you got it. Zion, rebound the fucking ball. Yeah, we're not using you. Fuck the offense. Yeah, whatever. We're not using you right. That's everybody's problem. Rebound the ball. That's something you can control almost every game. Your defense.
Because you know why you can control that, Chaz? You know why you can control that? Because rebounding's all about effort and being in shape.
That's will. It's all will.
Like, literally, you could be 5'0" and be one of the best. Like literally, all you have to do is have like a want for the basketball. That's why like Jordan Hawkins has a want for the basketball. Like has 7 rebounds, like because literally he attacks the rebound. I do have to bring this tweet up before we get to MIssi because I want to mention this. But tweet of the week presented by Standard Mortgage, your local lender of life. Let's get in touch with a home loan expert today. Give him a call at 504-569-3902. I thought this was an interesting tweet, and I see this a lot. So I wanted to bring it up, but Zion rightly gets critiqued when he has underwhelming rebounding nights, but I will never understand how Herb is Teflon with the same criticism. Herb just doesn't rebound at all, almost ever, and nobody ever cares. It's weird. So one guy got drafted number 1 overall, just signed a $200 million contract. The other guy got drafted in the 2nd round, has overperformed, is an all NBA defender. He guards the best player every single night. You can trust him. You can do whatever. Like he shows up every single night. Literally all Herb Jones thinks about is basketball. He just signed a $55 million contract. The other guy, drafted number 1 overall, supposed to be the face of the franchise, supposed to be an MVP candidate every single year, supposed to be all NBA, supposed to be all-star, et cetera, and doesn't. So one guy gets held to a certain standard and the other doesn't. But the guy in the 2nd round, and this is like very like the guy that got drafted in the 2nd round has had a better career than the guy that got picked number 1 overall.
And even ignoring that, I don't know if that person's like who specifically they're talking about, but it ain't us. Because every single person in here said Herb has to rebound better. It's like the one aspect of his game.
But he does everything else so well.
It's as well as he is going to be able to do it with his skill set. Every single person in here said Herb has to rebound better, like across the board. So I don't know.
But how much more can he do defensively? He's got to be the best defender. He sure he can, but he's got to guard the best defender every single night, or the best offensive player every single night. He literally anchors your defense. He can switch 1 through 5. Like he's the only guy that like communicates and talks. He's high IQ player. Like, oh yeah, he has to rebound. Can Zion get some fucking rebounds? Seriously, Kenny, is that too much to ask for a $200 million player to get
Hell no.
8 rebounds a night? I mean, it's insane to me that we have like these people who are like, well, you're a little too hard on Zion. What do you think people in like Boston, New York, Miami, Chicago, like
it costs to be the
asking
fucking
a guy to
boss.
rebound? Asking a guy to rebound too much?
It
Like,
costs
what
to be the boss. That being said, though, I will also say I never thought Herb's contract was a steal, and I'll leave it at that. Right?
Sure.
I'll leave it at that. I never thought his contract was a steal. But Zion, you get paid to show up every night.
Yep.
Like
Every
it costs to be the boss.
Think of all the
You
max
got
guys.
commercials, endorsements. They're not giving you commercials and endorsements because you show up when you feel like it. They
Yeah,
paying
Herb-
you the big bucks because the show up every night.
Talk about the Jordan brand that went to China. Talk about Paolo, Luca, Tatum. It was Zion. Was there a fifth guy?
I don't remember. Was it another guy?
Either way, the other three guys that I mentioned have won a championship, have gone to the finals, and Paolo is a guy like literally year 3. He's like almost like is like literally on a trajectory to be like the face of the league soon.
Like I said, look, Chaz has been. He pulls up the graphic all the time. We laugh about it or whatever. Zion can't score 14 points.
No.
You can't happen. Like you can't. What he scored 16 the other night on Friday.
Also, why are you on a
Can't
minutes
happen.
restriction still?
I don't care if you're on a minutes restriction. You were out there for 28 minutes and you scored 14 points.
Right.
Like that can't happen. Like that's pathetic to me.
On like 15 attempts.
12.
Yeah, 12.
But
Like
3 for
and
12.
last year,
Terrible.
look, it was one thing like I said, 4 or 5 years ago when he was averaging 27 in the games he played. All right, whatever, heard all this other shit. We saw something in those games. Like, all right, cool. You want to average 27, 28 points. All right. That's when we were excited. He averaged 22 points a game last year. If he's a guy that just shows up and gets you 17 a night, that ain't good enough. That's not good enough.
You're being tough, man. It's game 3.
That's not good enough.
He was sick for 5 days.
I don't got no.
He's always sick.
I don't got no smoke with Herb Jones.
All right.
I don't have no smoke with Herb Jones.
So about Yves MIssi. Go ahead, Lito.
Yo, man. Man, you talk about a dude like I'm he just a crash out. Shout out to Chad. We was texting about this earlier. Talking about what's your boy name for the Rockets?
Jabari?
How
about that's his favorite player? Dylan Brooks.
Dylan. Just crash out guys. Missy a crash out guy in a different kind of way, because that motherfucker. If you're shooting a basketball, it don't matter where he is. He jumping. He could be at half court and you pretend to shoot that shit. He's gonna try to block it. He met clean at the rim tonight and blocked his dunk.
I like that.
Wait. Time out. It's because we're the best podcasters in the league, right?
Talk about it.
Clinton going back. Denied.
That's grown man business right there. Don't bring that weak shit in here. I don't give a fuck where you got drafted, where you from, how many national championships you got in college. Bitch, don't bring that shit in here.
Play it
One
again.
more time.
Clinton going back.
Bitch, don't come in here with that weak shit. Hey, man. Hey, look, we talked about how raw he is as a basketball player. You talk about how he hasn't played a lot of basketball. Boy, he got some defensive instincts on. He got some instincts, bro. And his natural ability, usually like you see young players who haven't played a lot of basketball, they do jump at everything, but he has a refined ability to kind of pick and choose when to do so. He hasn't gotten, I thought his foul trouble would have been
I thought it was gonna be a problem.
much worse than it actually has been. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that bro, like Missy, I'm sorry, dog. Like I didn't want them to draft you. I wasn't very high on them when they drafted you. I watched your film.
We both were.
You know what I'm saying? Like I look. If anybody needs an apology, it is him. He has fucking played amazing in these 3 games. He's played great.
And that's why I like accountability. Shout out to us for literally
So
like
happy
we're
to be
wrong. We're
No,
wrong.
I don't.
I'm wrong.
In fact, I think that's the most wrong on an NBA player that I've ever been.
I'm like so wrong. I'm
It's
okay
like-
with it.
Because this is the
I'm okay with
equivalent
it.
of like last. I remember because it was kind of the same. This would be like if Carlo was good after the way y'all went to summer league last year, a year and a half ago, and y'all came.
I felt that uptown.
And
Sorry.
and y'all said Carlo will never like this.
We tried to tell
That was a
him.
year and a half ago, and I feel like that was this year's MIssi was last year's Carlo.
And we try to tell you about Hawkins.
and like we're just wrong. I mean, it's great. You said at the start of the show, like I don't. If you, I was in person for that first preseason game, and he couldn't stay on his own feet. It's incredible. Like I'm dumbfounded. I was just totally
was really
wrong.
falling
Like,
on the floor.
We were like just totally wrong. I remember thinking like, there's just no way. I don't think he's going to be able to play enough. Like before he either gets hurt from falling so much or he's going to foul too much. Like it really is incredible. Like I'm just dumbfounded how well he's played. And I don't know. I think Chaz said he thought Tice has been serviceable. Like it's probably time. It's probably time to go.
Yeah,
it's probably time
that's
to
what
go
I'm talking about.
switch
That was
that.
actually going to ask Chaz before that killer cam. No, appreciate you. Like you always show up every single night.
Shout out
Like
to
you're one of
Kim.
my favorite. Like with the comments and everything, but absolutely not. Go ahead, Chaz. Should MIssi be starting?
Should be started. I mean, what do you got to lose?
That's what I'm saying. I asked this on Friday.
Yeah, what do you got to lose? You know, as it pertains to MIssi, it's funny. I was in sociology one day, and the professor he calls it a false historical analogy. So with the MIssi thing, I appreciate all of us atoning, but it was true when we said it. let's not get it fucked up. Like, let's not get it fucked up. It was true when he said it. Like, yeah, he looked bad. He looked real bad.
Hey, Chad,
Right?
that field was terrible. That field was terrible.
Even crazier.
Oh,
than
hey.
even crazier than some of the defensive stuff you're talking about.
Mhm.
He's made a couple of offensive
Ooh, he
plays.
had a move tonight on Klingon. I was like,
Yeah, he had a couple of
imagine
nice
his
moves.
footwork. Like,
Imagine
Zion.
I
He
didn't
got
think
better
could catch.
footwork.
He got better footwork than Zion.
I didn't think he would be able to catch.
God,
That's
man.
Really,
crazy.
but the fact that he I've seen him over both shoulders. I've seen a counter. I've seen a counter because Zion definitely does not have a counter. I've seen one counter out of a pub. I'm like, he's doing shit that I'm like, what?
He had a motherfucker with a rondo. He went on the left side. Nope. I went footwork and I went to the
Crazy.
right side.
Like, good for him, man. I like that's like, I'm serious. I'm just so surprised, and he's been great. And he's Chris always says it. He provide even ignoring the offense. Really, he provides something that we haven't had since like
Years.
I don't know, like a Mecca Okafor or some shit. Like I mean, you got to go like way back.
Rim protector. Or the
I did not think a Mecca Okafor was going to be.
Dog,
Who
that was
had,
my comparison.
who had
East?
James Whitey?
Good for
Who was the guy's name? Was it James Whitney Whitey?
Brother, he was.
I had high hopes for him.
You called it Whitey?
I didn't know his name. I really didn't know his name.
Who else got good? Who else got good?
Look, this motherfucker was in the preseason. He had like 5 blocks in a row in the preseason, and it was like, oh, this dude about to be incredible.
That's ridiculous. You know, it's just that's the untrained eye that says something like that.
Jeff Whitney, shout out to coach Jeff Whitney, right? I think he had the cleft lip. He had the cleft lip, and yo, I thought he was gonna be all right. I really thought he was gonna be all right. And that shit didn't work out at all.
Jeff Whitney from Lido? From?
Oh, that's an easy word.
I have no idea.
Kansas.
I think with the Kansas.
He did. That's the lyrics that we should do.
Yeah.
Right there.
He was on that Ben McLemore team, wasn't he? Or was he after Ben McLemore?
I think he won that national championship.
Yeah, he stunk in
The
college.
Derrick
too.
Rose year when they beat him in Memphis. No.
That was the Mario Chalmers. That was the Mario Chalmers.
Yeah, he was on that team, right?
Yeah.
Well, yo, I'm gonna be real.
Yeah.
Oh,
Go ahead.
my bad. I was gonna say I'm gonna be real. Damn, Jeff Whitney, that old Mario Chalmers. But I think you gotta play Carlo. You gotta give him some minutes at the 4. Or you gotta play some wings. You can't keep playing Zion and Herb as your 4 and 5. Especially when Brandon leaves, you gotta get some height out there. You got like I said,
Chad, I have to stop you. Carlo couldn't get minutes in the preseason. He couldn't
but
get minutes.
that's not a real high bar to reach though when you consider who the coach is. Cause fuck, Trey couldn't get minutes in the fucking playoffs over
I feel like this comes up.
Tony Snell. And then look, only reason he got the minutes is because what's my man Gary Clark was on the 2-way and didn't have a real roster spot. There's no way in the world you telling me JRE is significantly better. Not you, I'm saying Willie Green is significantly better than motherfucking Carlo. There ain't no way. Significantly better for it to make a difference when you playing a 6'6" power forward, a 6'7" center against giants out there. And like, let's not forget, Klingon is a rookie. Like, Klingon is a rookie. He's only gonna get better, and he was a fucking beast out there.
He's like, I mean, I think I said in the chat, like even just standing next to Missy, who I mean we've said all played great, like he dwarfs Missy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why we are the greatest podcast in the world right here. Because fucking Lala is just locked in.
Put Yves in a position to be successful.
Yo, one more time.
That's a beautiful move.
One more time.
Put Yves in a position to be successful.
Did he step out of bounds?
Doesn't matter.
No, they ain't call it.
There was one possession tonight. Ross and Chaz, you might have seen this one when Zion drove right, beat his defender. I mean, he has a right-handed layup wide open.
Try to pass it to him.
Laid it off.
I thought Missy was in the wrong spot. I thought he was in the wrong spot.
Like, you're Zion Williamson. Just lay it up. Just lay it up.
To me,
lay it up.
Right side.
To me, it annoyed me because I was like, you probably should have just shot it. It reminded me like when LeBron passes up some wide open ass shot and he just goes like it's the quote unquote right play, but just shoot the fucking ball, man. What are you doing? Like, I don't know.
You really expect like Missy like the greatest hands, right?
And that play killed the drive.
It was fine. I thought it was fine. You were talking.
Well, you kind of, but yes, Shat. Like, I if I'm Zion, I'm not dumping that pass off to Missy and expecting him to catch and finish in traffic. Just lay it up with your right hand. It was like, what, Chaz, late third?
It was late third. They were trying to do a little half-ass comeback, getting to the line. It was over 2 defenders, and Missy was like in the dunker spot. Then he moved.
He moved into the lane.
Yeah. So I was like, ugh. But after that, the game was over. It was over.
Yeah. There anything else? I mean, we gotta talk. Y'all want to go fan questions, or y'all want to talk how
they want you to talk about they want you to talk about Jose being terrible.
Oh, Jose.
Somebody. It was like 5.
Before we do that, before we get into Jose, let's run DraftKings.
Yeah, because that's like
$3.
All right, so look, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a minute and a half break. We gotta hear from DraftKings, and then we're gonna do fan questions, and we're gonna talk about Jose and whatever y'all got. So if you have any questions for the panel, drop them in the comment section. Obviously, super chats are very, 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 very much appreciated. Also, if you haven't subscribed, hit that bell notification, let you know we're going live. Let's hear from DraftKings, about a minute and a half break, and then we'll get back to y'all's questions and comments.
The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from behind the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? Get behind your favorite players in the prop bets you can make on DraftKings Sportsbook, the home of the NBA player props. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking your team to win. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and place your bet. First time? New DraftKings customers bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BOOT. That's code BOOT, B-O-O-T, for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/BBALL.
I like this role. Shout out DraftKings.
Coachable.
You are coachable and accountable. Everybody on this podcast is coachable. Chaz, is hot takes coming back, Chaz? Someone asked.
Yeah. Well, I got a couple things I need to talk about. A few things to talk about.
All right, Chung, calm down, bro.
Yeah,
Chung,
yeah.
calm down. Chung, can we talk about Chung?
Wow, bro. Chung is wild.
Last 3 games.
Wow.
Wow. Damn.
God damn, Chung.
Oh, I'm glad you. Wait, hold up. Timeout. I gotta take a
coming
timeout.
off the
I gotta
screen.
take a timeout. If you are a member right now, make sure to email me or DM me, whatever. We're gonna start sending care packages to our members. All right,
We
T-shirts.
gotta get stuff.
We are going to start sending shit to y'all. So we really appreciate y'all's support. So if you are a member, email me at justin@bootcrewmedia.com or DM me at Propels Talk or DM Boot Crew Media, whatever it may be on Instagram. Make sure we'll take care of you.
Check
What?
this out.
Oh, you got some. Oh,
Rachel DM Cole.
are we doing the late night PPT, the
Yeah,
matchmaker thing
yeah,
too?
yeah,
What are you
for
doing?
sure.
Got some of these bad boys too.
What is that? They're blank. Oh, yeah.
Company
I
burger.
told you. I told you I like something for a company burger. You thought I was lying. Like something for a company burger.
Love that. Shout out Cubby Bird, located 4600 for Red Street. All right. 504 boy, as always. Appreciate
Shout out
your
to
super chat.
504.
Shout out to you, Chance, becoming a new member. If you want to become a member, you can always sign up. All right, let's get into some super chats first.
The email, Justin.
Justin at bootcrewmedia.com. Steve Madden. Whenever I see Steve Madden, I think of Wolf of Wall Street. Steve Madden. Chaz has a point with Zion running the point. Will draw the defense to him for an easy kick out, 2 shooters. Hawk, Chaz.
I say that also because you got some wings out there who can shoot a little bit. I trust Herb to hit a wide open jumper. I trust Hawkins because that's really the second unit you want to see. Like Herb is essentially your backup center at this point. You want to see Zion, and again, when you know who you're dealing with, you gotta keep them motivated. That's just how some people are. Like everybody had that kid in the class who is not challenging to. You gotta keep them motivated. When I go back, I watched that Utah Jazz game. Like they announced it, dog. Zion looked like he lost about 30 pounds overnight to play point Zion in the Utah Jazz game. And it's really the only option you got. You ain't got like no great fucking options. What you gonna do? Play Jose? Oh, I'm terrified. Like, man, come on. Like, let's stop doing this. Like,
This is fucking crazy. That's not Withy. It's not Jeff Withy. It's unbelievable. Bro, that's great.
My bad about that. My bad. Go ahead.
Carl, appreciate your super chats as always. Watching this team is watching. It's like watching Jacob's ladder, just slow and miserable.
What that mean?
I don't know, Ross. Anybody know what that means?
No, I'm just
Shout out to
laughing.
Jacob's ladder.
Laugh at me?
Yeah. Can't make it in.
Are you talking about my company bird commercial? Fuck, you know what? Fuck all y'all, man.
What does that mean? I want to know what that means.
Yeah, Carl, what is that? Appreciate the super chat,
Jacob's
Carl.
Ladder.
I don't know.
This is a Bible reference of
It's
some
a
sort.
lifetime of a spiritual journey.
Jacob's ladder, the movie with Tim Robbins, the dude from Shawshank Redemption.
I ain't never seen it.
Yeah, it's one of them movies that is like you know it's a film. It ain't even a movie, it's a film. You cancel the rest of your day to watch that.
Ross from Jonathan, appreciate always you, Jonathan, always in the comment section, always watching. Losing a point guard shouldn't cause this much difference in a basketball team with its 2 stars, Ross.
We don't have 2 stars.
We have 1 star.
Do we have a star?
No, last year we didn't have any all-stars. I don't think we had any the year before either. I don't think we have any.
I think it's 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think we have any stars.
Wait, what about by game and not by name?
You got to talk on the mic, Lito.
I'm sorry.
My
bad. Forgot our podcast. By game. Ross, I said, what about by game and not by name?
I mean, I guess we got one, maybe, but yeah, I don't know. We definitely don't have two. Let's put it that way.
Sure.
Losing a PG shouldn't cause this much difference in the basketball team. I mean, I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't, I guess, but you got to know what you're dealing with here. You're dealing with a team that doesn't really have any expectations. The same things we've gone through. You
see Donald's comment?
It just is what it is. I don't. Yeah, it shouldn't. But this is not a well-coached team from a head coaching perspective. This is not a team with a GM that sets a very hard standard. This is a team with an owner that's. I'm not sure if she knew we had a game tonight. Like it just, you got to understand what you're dealing with.
On which side? Lito,
Yes, sir.
Steve Madden.
What's up, Steve back?
Damn, Steve had a couple.
Steve, actually.
Steve was potting
had a good
tonight.
show. Who's
Steve was potting.
Steve, Ron. Where's Ron? What's his name?
We gotta have a bro. We gotta have the pot of the week. What was it? The fan of the week?
Yeah, we had that one dude that showed up.
You know what? Right now, Steve Madden, fan of the week.
Steve, DM us.
First fan of the week of the show. Steve Madden, 504.
Steve, if you're local, I got 25 to Company Burger. We'll put in the t-shirt.
So
Steve,
for Steve,
we got Steve.
So we're gonna be fan of the week, Steve Madden, the first one. Yes, Chung and X always the goats. Donald's always here. Like, y'all are so many.
That's expectation. Those guys have earned
They're-
a level of you. We expect this.
They're the pillars.
Right.
They're the pillars.
We expect them to show up.
Yeah, Rachel's a pillar,
Yeah.
and
I
you know,
don't know if you can call Rachel a pillar.
Co's a pillar.
They've
for
set a
show.
standard.
There's a standard.
Steve,
X
I think
is a pillar.
Steve is
Shane's a
somewhat new
pillar.
here.
Malik's a pillar. I'm just going through the names. Carl, we got Carl, 13. I don't know.
Wahab, pillar.
Wahab for sure.
We got a lot of pillars.
We got a lot of pillars out there. All right, Lito. We're not going to win a chip with Zion. Offload him for picks now and start building around Hawk, Trey, and Herb. It's funny. Someone actually literally texted me this today.
I'm not mad at you, Steve. I ain't gonna lie.
Of course, Chung.
Shout out to my dog, man.
My
man.
dog. Yeah, I'm a 504 boy, Cade. My bad. Guys. My bad.
I ain't mad at you. I really feel like Justin, like last year I told you, for me, it was my end of the line between, boat 1 and 14.
Yep.
You had to pick and choose at some point, and Chad has been saying all night, you never really got a chance to really see if this could be Zion's team or if he could step up into the leadership role. I don't think he can, but I mean, at this point, if I'm gonna just be honest, I'm tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, Chaz, you maybe can answer this because you be tuned in with trades and shit, but I don't even know what his market would be.
I think he'd have a market because of how his contract is set up. The last time you saw him on a national stage, his age, and the fact that I don't think nobody trusts the Pelicans to do nothing. Like even now, like people looking at Dyson Daniels with the Hawks and saying, "How'd they let this guy get away?" Like it's just and then you got it's like, no, everybody. The Pelicans are a farm team. Everybody gonna leave the Pelicans, and if they stay alive, they gonna get better. That's just is what it is. I ain't never seen Drew Holiday shoot how he's shooting now. Like Drew Holiday, I'm talking about, it's unbelievable. Like everybody leave and get better.
Lane, are we going to overlook people legally? This is a good point, Lane. Are we going to overlook?
It don't have nothing to do with how they play.
No, but if they call a defensive 3 seconds, it's not going to change the outlook of the game.
They lost
by like
30.
But it was pretty ridiculous what Klingon was doing. I mean, he's in the paint for 7 or 8
then
seconds.
you do it.
No.
Okay.
You're gonna say then you do it. No.
Lito.
Where is your head coach?
Yeah.
By the way,
Where
if you're
watching
Gulf Coast Networks
call
today,
it out.
they let the They let the stream go on a little too long before commercial. Joel Myers, you hear Joel scream. He takes off his headsets and he's saying, "Hey, Lazard, he's in the lane." We got Joel Myers, the play-by-play guy, screaming to the staff.
Get a tap, like do something,
You see?
call it out. Like, I mean, just sit over there and just kind of just.
I'm saying if they don't call it on you and you see and your man is guarding you, I'd be like, okay, well, I'm gonna do it.
Well, Tice can sit in the middle of the paint. Think anybody scared? Like,
They're probably
Williams,
like-
big ass sitting in the fucking
Got a
paint makes a
point.
huge difference. Tyson there, they're like, look, they got a little 6'7" dude in there.
But-
Sorry.
Wait, Chaz,
Chaz, you want? I wasn't.
Now that I say that's why I'm always just hesitant to compliment Willie Green because it's like he always regresses to the mean Willie Green. Regresses to the mean Willie Green.
you know,
Print the shirt.
the only thing, let it would have been Justin there. You got Justin ass out of there.
You Justin? Yeah, I am.
Tee him up.
Hey, I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Okay. Geez, all this about Zion after 2 bad games. Can you imagine what's going to happen after 3 bad games? Shane, what did we do in training camp? Look, I will say this, Shane. Like, it's yeah, this is going to be an interesting take here, but like, it's still not fair to judge this team just yet because, to Chaz's point, and this is why we've been literally talking about this, how we want to see everybody play in the preseason. I don't know what they look like. I still have no idea what DeJounte, Brandon, Zion, and CJ look like on a basketball court. I have no clue. I have no idea. I don't even know what the actual starting lineup would be. If everybody was healthy, we still don't even know what the starting lineup would be.
Some shit.
So like Shane, like I understand your question, but like I still can't even judge his team yet until DeJounte gets healthy, and same with Trey.
We don't know. The answer to this question is no one knows.
No one knows.
Other than Brandon dominated his own team.
I will say this though, Brandon has looked good. Like, I know you had a bad night. Like, I think Brandon.
But I'm saying that's really the only thing that we heard about.
We didn't even
training
talk about Brandon, but like Brandon's been perfectly fine. I've actually enjoyed watching Brandon play basketball. Tonight wasn't great, but no one played well. Well, Hawkins did. Let's see. Charles, I mean, it's more of a comment, but average 20 a game as a leader and always playing in the play-in tournament.
Oh,
is
can
a
I?
shame.
Can I?
Is this what you started
Can
this
I?
one?
Yeah. So look, Charles, check this out.
All right.
That is a fallacy, sir. That is a fallacy. He only got to the play-in tournament because of New Orleans. He went to the Western Conference Finals. The play-in tournament is not a real thing to CJ. He only got there because the players around him, i.e. 1 and 14, have not been consistent. He has been consistent. He has consistently showed up. He has changed his game to fit the need of whatever the team needs from him. 20 points a game for 11 straight seasons from a guy who is 6'3", doesn't have great athleticism. I don't know how we just sneezing at that. Like, that's a little crazy to me.
We got some breaking news somewhat here. I don't mean to cut you off, but Steph Curry has rolled his ankle.
Yeah, I heard.
Head to the locker room Sunday and will not return.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Well, soon stuff.
Pelicans play Tuesday and Wednesday against.
Yeah, it's still not a big deal. I say that because, again, like Shaden Sharp didn't play tonight. Robert Williams didn't play tonight. Denny? He was some shit. Ayton wasn't like as good as he could have been. The only real advantage I'll say the Pelicans have is that they aren't very big. The Golden State is very big, but then you travel second night of back-to-back. Steph probably plays one game, doesn't play the other. I don't know if it's likely he misses both games, but Steph not soft like the players on the Pelicans. So I don't know. Even at his age, I don't think he's soft like the Pelicans players.
Fair. Someone, I lost a comment.
It's one of the stars.
Oh, here's David. No, we had Murray in training camp. I understand that, David. I still haven't seen Murray play with Brandon, CJ, Zion. No one has. Well, everyone. I mean, the people in training camp have, but I have not
Playing
seen
against
it yet.
who?
Against
Carlo.
Matt
JR.
Ryan.
Shut up. Why is Matt Ryan still catching strays on this show, man?
Jose.
Shout out to Matt
Ryan
Ryan.
on the
Play for the
team,
East
bro.
Bay
Shout out
Knicks.
to
Huh?
Matt Ryan, man.
Is he the number 1 overall pick in the NBA G League draft? This was it today? I didn't know they had a G League draft. I didn't know
this is news. This is news to me.
Ross, do you think if Zion left, he would still have these problems? Honest question.
Good question.
Yes,
I agree.
I do. Yeah, I do. I think his issues are not the same as some of these other players that leave and go other places, because it's not an opportunity issue. And I don't even think it's a team development issue. These are personal. Well, first off, let's like rewind it like back a little bit. I think his game is a bit capped. Like it's a bit of a gimmick, right? Like he's a freak of nature, but he's kind of short. Like I don't think nobody ever thought Zion would be better at 28 than he was supposed to be at 20. He wasn't that player. Like he wasn't a player that was going to peak at 27, 28 years old. So I don't think his issues are solved going somewhere else, because he's not going to get 4 inches taller. He's not going to suddenly develop a jump shot. I think that's why I asked the question, like, have we already seen the best?
I disagree.
Talk about it.
I disagree. And I'm not saying you wrong. I disagree in the sense of this. If that motherfucker was somewhere like Miami, none of this shit would fly.
Because it wouldn't have flied on day one.
It wouldn't fly. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what you're saying about the gimmick part of his game, but that motherfucker would have showed up for the best shape of his life for 6 straight seasons.
Why?
Because Pat not playing that shit. Pat is literally holding Jimmy Butler to us. Jimmy Butler probably one of the hardest working players. He a dog.
What did Pat Riley do this offseason?
Pat told him, I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of you getting up on press conferences and talking about other teams and post games, pressers and all this other shit. And I want to know you serious about basketball. He told that to Jimmy Butler, a dude who took them to the finals twice in the last 5 years.
Yeah, he told Tyler, I'm tired of you getting hurt.
So that's my point. But like, so what would he have like he ain't gonna make Zion not get hurt?
Well,
I mean,
I think
hold a guy like that accountable, but the fact of the matter is, like, he's paid a ton of money. I just don't know how. Even if he was in shape right now, I don't know, like, what his issue is. Like, how do you hold a guy accountable in the offseason when he's not there and he doesn't seem to be doing anything to improve? Like, but just losing a couple pounds, just not showing up 310 pounds doesn't mean you improved as a basketball player. It just means you showed up not 310 pounds.
But I think that that's the difference. I think that shit again. All of that to me in the circumference of the situation wouldn't fly. Like, you not about to. First of all, I'm not about to pay you to show up with the same game you had when you arrived here as a rookie.
Yeah. That's my biggest issue with Zion. What has he gotten better at since he arrived in New Orleans? Can y'all name? I'm not trying to be a dick.
No, we've talked about that.
His facial hair got better.
Nothing.
Did.
Maybe in shape, probably defense. I think when he's quote unquote in shape, I actually think he's a plus defender in shape. That's the caveat. To me, my problem with him has always been the injuries, right? Because I feel like I always view Zion as a below the basket player. I never viewed Zion as like an above the rim type guy, because he don't got a great wingspan. His hands are small. You know, he's a super big Kyrie Irving finishing at the rim guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. To me, that's who this player is. I feel like this player, again, individually, yeah, he can be really good to great despite some of the shit that goes on the court, but he's still a player that you gotta accommodate versus how some players, like, you ain't gotta accommodate them. Like, some players kind of just are who they are. Like, they can get 40, 50 points. Like, Luka can score 70 points and lose a fucking game with bad teammates, but that's how he is. With Zion, it don't got to be the perfect situation, but it can't be the situation. it's been. I'll say that. Like, it got to me, you got to get some fucking shooters, and you got to get a real center, and you got to get a real coach. I'm tired. I'm just tired of it, dog. Like, if it fails, let it fail. But don't let it fail. And I still have all these questions. Like, could it have worked? Like, that's the thing that's always gonna drive me crazy about the Stan Van Gundy thing. I don't know if it could have worked. Right? Like, I don't know if it could have worked. I got all these questions like that, and that's the shit that annoys me with Zion particularly. Because I'm gonna keep it $1 with you. You ain't got a chance in hell without him. You ain't got a chance in hell without him. That's just the long and short of it. You ain't got a chance in hell without him. Motherfucker don't shoot threes. Motherfucker don't really rebound like that. Motherfucker got one move, one and a half moves to keep it real. He an undersized power forward. Motherfucker is still what was he, the third or fourth highest scoring player? Like it's like you just don't got a chance without him. Just do the right thing or move them and get it over with. Like we just stuck in the middle for years. We just been in the middle in no man's land. Move on. Like
the difference going back to the Miami thing is like with Zion is you look at it's what is his elite skill, and in theory, right? It's efficient scoring. And I look at somebody like Bam, who I don't think has added anything to his game in 5 years.
I agree. Like,
has not added one thing. He was supposed to start shooting threes. Hasn't happened. He was supposed to become this facilitator, all this stuff. Hasn't happened. But Bam's elite skill is that he's one of the best defenders in the league. And he's been in the top 5 in the defensive player of the year voting for whatever, 5 or 6 years. He shows up every year with that. Well, Zion's elite skill seems to be diminishing rapidly. 5 years ago, he was shooting 61% or whatever, averaging 27 points a night. Well, last year was, he lost 50 percentage points. I mean, he shot 57% or whatever, and you averaged 22 points. This year, does it take another half step back? That for me is the much bigger issue than some of the other things we talk about. It is like, has his elite skill capped? Because if he can't score, if he can't efficiently go get you 27 or 28 a night, I'm not sure. I don't know that you can necessarily build.
I was gonna say you brought up such a good point tonight, Lito. Like, we've been like tough on Brandon, and I've seen Brandon for the last 3 games really try to shoot the 3. I know tonight he only went 0 for 3, but like I've seen him try to change his game. I still haven't seen Zion try to change his game. Like I was there every fucking day of practice last year, and I watched him shoot mid-range after mid-range after mid-range from corner 3 to corner 3, so on and so forth, every single day. I saw it every single day. It's not like he's not doing it. He's just not doing it in the game. So, like, Lito, what does that tell you about somebody? Like, does he not trust his work? Does he not trust? Like, I just don't understand. If you work on something every single day in practice, and then you don't apply it in the game, what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't really have an answer for that. And shout out to my dog, because this is a real not only this part, right? The threat of him shooting doesn't scare him, but it's, to me, the threat of losing money to not being in shape, but he was in shape.
When? Allegedly, look, we did get some reports that he was in shape. We did, that I trust.
We saw him.
No, we got like actual.
I saw him in preseason.
I think it's the difference between in shape and your body weight. Like, I think he looks thinner today than he looked in that Laker game.
I just think something happened from Sunday. I think something happened from Sunday to this Sunday. I think something happened. I don't know what. I'm not like trying to start any rumors, but he looks bad. And you're going to say, well, he's been sick for 5 days.
No, I just don't know how, but like, I think the bar was so low for Zion that people got excited when he didn't show up 310 pounds. So
the bar's so low, just franchise like
he showed
throughout.
Up. Yeah, like, and we're being tough on it. Like, yeah, he showed up and he has lost 20 something.
Somebody got to be tough on him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you talk about him not doing the stuff that you've seen him do in practice and all this stuff. What's the same thing we bitched about last year when Brandon wouldn't take threes, and we're saying, why the fuck is Willie Green allowing him to continue to play and not shoot threes? Well, why the fuck is Willie Green not screaming to shoot an elbow jumper? Somebody scream at this man to shoot an elbow jumper. Fuck.
Somebody got to hold him accountable. And shout out to my dog, because the point is this: if the money doesn't hold you consistent, what does?
I want him to shoot threes, honestly. I don't even want him shooting that many.
See, Ross,
The last 2-3 times I've seen him take it, I'm like,
yeah, I'm dead.
just shoot the fucking three, man. Like, I just don't like the midi. You jumping off the ground, you can land on somebody's foot, twist your fucking ankle. It never looks that. The only time it looked like relatively good was the end of the season versus the Suns in Sacramento. And I guess the Lakers, motherfucker had a run, cool. But you ending the season like that, you're not starting the season like that.
That's the problem.
I need you to start the season ready to roll. So,
speaking of accountability, I got to hold Lito accountable, because what's disgusting is that you bring this up, Lito. Like, you're the one that brought the comment up, and then you're like, Chung, you've been out of control.
That bad ass for you.
Chung, you've been absolutely out of control. You might get banned tonight. I'm like, it's borderline inappropriate. Like, we're borderline. We are borderline inappropriate.
Man, I had a specific question for
Chris
you.
Conner.
Was that second game, we got our ass kicked, or the second half. We just got our ass totally kicked. We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass. We sucked. The second half, we sucked. We couldn't stop the run. Every time they got the ball, they went down and got points. We got our ass totally kicked in the second half. That's what it boiled down to. It was a horse performance in the second half. Horse. I'm totally embarrassed and totally ashamed. Coaching did a horrible job. The players did a horrible job. We got our ass kicked in that second half. It sucked. It stunk.
It stunk. Well, that stunk is like, we need more of Jim Moore. Give me more of that.
Real coach right there.
No, that was crazy. All right. So I think this is actually an interesting point. Why do we, and I want to talk about this. Why do we put, do you want to go home? Are you ready?
No, I mean, it's a good question.
It is a good question. Why do we play so slow when we are? Yep, Chaz.
Is it? No, that's the thing. It's a good question. It's a good question, homie. But this is the thing. It's like, bruh, them two dudes shouldn't be on the court together. They shouldn't play together. That's the whole fucking point. If you watch the games, the first few plays of both of the games are scripted, kinda. Like, let's get Brandon going. And it's like, bro, we not running no real offense. So when them two out there, it's your turn, my turn. Like, it just looks stupid. It looks fucking stupid. Dog, they should be on the court as little time together as possible. Like, them two should not be on the court together much at all. Because, it has to be Zion initiating offense and Brandon kind of cutting, curling, moving off ball, something like that, to where, it's not to his strengths. Or Zion parked in the corner or in the fucking post on the same side, on the same left side in the post. Every time. It's fucking stupid. Let's move away from it. Let's break this tandem up. It don't work. It don't work.
I'm saying too much. All right, you know what? I appreciate us. This game 3. We were going on for an hour and 45. We were live at 1 a.m. on a Friday.
It's a suppository. That's funny.
Hey,
appreciate all y'all support. What? You want to say something?
We got to hold Chung accountable. We have to.
All right, that's fair.
I got it.
You got it.
Yeah, I got it. It's Chung. We got to hold
Chung, you've been obnoxious tonight.
We ain't no motherfucking freaks. We some family men. We getting it paper. You know what I'm talking about?
Just for the whole show, Chung. Appreciate you.
Audio Jungle.
Hey, yo. The Zion Williamson experiment is starting to feel like a dream deferred. What is a dream deferred? Where do dreams go? What happens when the things that are supposed to happen do not come into fruition? What
Make sure you're in the camera, Lito.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
what happens? What happens when you have a generation, a quote unquote generational talent who is not really like in love with the game? I don't know that for sure, but I'm just saying. I'm just telling y'all what I see. So like the dream of the fans of the New Orleans Pelicans, the dream of the organization, like it just keeps getting kicked down the line. Like it's a can that keeps getting kicked down the road because either he's not serious or they're not serious. You have intentionally put teams and centers around him that do not fit his talent and his ability. And then, to be honest, he hasn't showed up for himself. He hasn't showed up for you. I don't think he showed up for Ross. He showed up for Justin, Chaz. He didn't show up for Cole, Wahab. He didn't show up for none of y'all, right? And we keep, we've been fairly lenient with him. You know what I'm saying? We've been handling the situation with kid gloves. You dig? And I'm sick of that shit. And I'm not talking about game 2 or game 3. Not even game 10. I'm talking about the whole situation. The whole situation. I'm tired of it, bro. I feel like trade both of them.
Oh. Okay. All right. Smash the like button Tuesday night. Are you gonna do Are y'all gonna do a film review at all? You think Monday or no?
Might do it tomorrow. Might do it tomorrow.
Because you're a professional.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Yeah. Best
All
podcast
right.
in the world.
Shows up for work.
Man, appreciate y'all. Comments. Y'all been crazy tonight. Appreciate y'all. Smash that like button. Helps out the channel. We'll be back Tuesday night after the Warriors game and Wednesday night, then Friday, and then back on Sunday. Predictions for the week I have presented by Theo's. I have loss, win. Chaz, what do you got?
It depends because now Steph is out. I'm gonna go 0-4. Fuck it. Who cares?
Okay, Ross.
Because if I'm wrong, what are you gonna do? Kick me out? I mean, it's 0-4. Oh, shout out to Brian, man, new member. Thank you, Brian.
New member Brian. What's up, Brian?
What up, Brian?
What's up, cuz?
you, brother.
Welcome home.
Alert.
Welcome home. Ross, what you got?
I got 2 wins and 2 losses.
Okay. And Lito?
Yeah, I got the same thing. I don't remember the order, but 2 wins,
Cool.
2 losses.
Win the first one against the Warriors, lose the second one.
Win.
Lose to the
Pacers.
lose to the Pacers.
Cool. We'll see you from Sam Morris and we're out of here. Appreciate you.
Buying a house is one of the largest financial investments you'll ever make. That's why you need the experience and the support of the Standard Mortgage team. Whether you're looking to purchase, refinance, or consolidate debt,